What's up, guys? Today, inspired by ADV China and another channel I watch, Prozzy, I'm going to ride around on the U-bike, and I'm just going to talk about how I missed my flight back from Japan to Taiwan, because it's a bit of a funny story. Alright, let's go. Alright guys, it's story time. Let's get her started. So, I had an absolutely lovely trip to Japan. I spent about a week there in April, and for the most part I was with my buddy Zach, but he had to leave to go teach English. So on the Sunday before my flight, I was just by myself in Tokyo, and I had a lovely day. I mean, it was really fun, had a good morning, and then in the afternoon hung out with my buddy Alex. He's coincidentally from Canada, and he was just in Japan at the same time, so that was cool. We hung out. Anyway, so it was about 8 or 9 at night on Sunday, and I had a flight the next Monday morning at sometime about 9 or 9:30, something like that in the morning. And so I had a hotel in the airport as well, so that, I could travel to the airport, get a rest in the hotel, wake up and take my morning flight. And so the start of my adventure in the Tokyo subway, I loaded up the best route on my phone, and I figured out where to go. And so if you know anything about the Japanese subway system, you'll know that it's one of the most complex things that you'll ever deal with. I don't even know. I think even Stephen Hawking has trouble comprehending the subway system, because it's just it's a mess. And especially compared to the Taiwanese subway system. I mean, the Taiwanese subway system is beautiful. I mean, it's so elegant and simple and efficient. And anyway, so I started to figure out my route, and it was going to take somewhere about 3 hours. I think I had about 3 transfers. And so I started my adventure. I bought my first ticket. I got on the right train, and in the train I took a little bit of a nap, and I read the book that my brother gave me for Christmas. It's called Barbarian Lost. It's actually written by the brother of Justin Trudeau. Shout out to Luca if you're watching this. And so I love that book. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me. And anyway, I'm rambling. So I got off the train, and we're about halfway done the journey at this point. So the first train took me about halfway. I'm in the station, and I'm starting to walk to my next train, and I needed to blow my nose. So, I pulled over to the next bench or whatever, and I put my backpack down, I put my book down, and, I blew my nose. But it was this weird sensation. It's like as I blew my nose, the confidence went as I blew my nose. And it was just weird. So anyway, I picked my backpack up and I started going to the next train. So I get on the next train. I'm pretty sure it's the right train. And so as I start to take this train, I think it was about 5 or 10 minutes in, and I realized, holy crap, I left my book behind at the last station. So I'm like, no problem. If it's like this Taiwanese subway system, it'll be easy. Just get off at this train, walk across the platform, and get on the next train. It'll take you back to the last station. Because that's how it works in Taiwan. Basically, at most places, you can get off at one end, literally walk across the platform to the opposite train. As you get off the train, go on the next one, and it'll take you in the opposite direction, so you can Control Z anything you've done. That means undo. So you can undo anything you've done, and you're good. And so that's what I did. I got on the opposite train, thought I was making my way back to the station, and I get off, and I realize at that station, I'm like, where am I? I had no clue where I was. I mean, I was at the wrong station. So instead of just looking it all up on my phone and probably getting on another wrong train and doing that again, so I just asked one of the subway workers, who I might also call a sandwich artist. So I asked one of the sandwich artists where to go, and after some help, he finally helped me out, and he got me on the right train. So I was on the right train back to the station. I made sure the number of stops was proper. And so I was finally back at the right station. And so I'm trying to look around for where my book is, and it's not there. But I wasn't worried, because I know Japanese people wouldn't steal it. I mean, Japanese people are lovely, and Zach and I have talked about this a lot. I mean, he's lived in Japan for a few years, and I mean, they just won't steal stuff. Like it's basically a statistical improbability. And so anyway, so I asked a sandwich artist where I need to go, and so he led me to some little office where some two Japanese guys or two sandwich artists were looking at my book, maybe trying to read it or just decipher it or something. And so I pointed at it and I said, "That's mine. Could I have it, please?" And then they needed some verification, so they took. I needed to fill out a form. They needed my passport. They needed my fingerprint. They needed blood samples. They needed a few strands of my hair. They needed my first child. And after they had all that, it was verified that it was my book. And so I got my book, and then I get on the next train. And I know this is the right train for a fact. At this point, I'm just always asking the right train. And so I get on the next train and take it to the next station, get off at the right station, and I'm about to get on the third train. But I stopped myself because I just had a weird feeling about it, because not as many people were getting on as I thought they would. And so I pulled back and I asked these two Japanese businessmen, I'm going to call Salt and Pepper. I asked Salt and Pepper where I need to go, if this is the right train, and they said no. So they helped me because I didn't get on the wrong train again. I went on the right train with Salt and Pepper. And pardon me, when we were on the train, they basically helped me get to where I needed to go, but they were super passionate about it. I mean, these guys really wanted to help. Like, they were just awesome. So they were like calling people. They got some person on the phone who spoke English, but in the end, their whole, I don't know what to say, their whole conclusion of everything was off at Narita, or off at this station, taxi to Narita. So I had to get off at a certain station and taxi the rest of the way because of all the delays I had made, because of my whole blowing nose book thing. I had lost the chance to take the train directly to the airport. So I needed to get off at a few stations before the airport. No problem, right? So, I got off at that station and I'm thinking to myself, well, Edwin, you got like 9 hours till your flight. Make the most of your trip, save some money. Don't take a taxi, which is going to be like 80 Canadian dollars or 70 Canadian dollars or something. Just walk it. So I'm just going to walk 2 or 3 hours to the airport and, get some rest in the airport, and then at my airport hotel, and then catch my flight. So that's what I did. I mean, I cheaped out. I didn't take the taxi. I walked to the airport. And I'm not going to go into detail because my family watches this, but there were some spooky things on that walk. There were some spooky things, but there were also some cool things. Like, there were these two guys that I saw on the subway. One of them had a guitar, and I randomly ran into them on the walk back, or the walk to the airport. Like, that was just, it was cool. And then there was like some other cool stuff, but anyway, there's a whole nother story behind the walk. And so, so I get to the airport, I'm feeling good, it's like 3 a.m. or something, and I get to my hotel, have a shower, clean up, and I lay down in my bed, and I set my alarm for about 3 hours before my flight at 9 or 9:30, and next thing I know, I wake up to a Japanese lady knocking on my door saying, "You have to leave, your time is up." And I'm like, "What the heck, dog? My alarm hasn't even gone off." And she's like, "Yo, dog, you need to leave." And I'm like, "Yo, dog, what time is it?" And she's like, "Damn, dog, it's 9:45. And I'm like, "Okay, dog, I'm screwed." That is the moment my heart dropped. I didn't even hear my alarm go off. I don't even remember turning it off. I don't remember anything about my alarm except for setting it. I know that it was set. So I had just slept straight through the alarm. And so the point of this whole story is, do not blow your nose in a Japanese subway system. Lesson learned. The rest of the way to get back was messed up as well. The airline would not help me out. They wouldn't put me on standby. even though I asked, like, I can wait the whole day. I'm very flexible. They wouldn't help me out. They wouldn't give me a discount, nothing like that. Understandable. It was my fault. I missed it. But that didn't help. Never order from a site called Tripsta. I tried to order a ticket from Tripsta. They never emailed me. I wasted like an hour or two of that because they never emailed me that my flight actually didn't get booked because the credit card didn't get properly charged. So then nothing happened. Then I ordered from a place called Tiger Air, and that worked. And so I finally got a Tiger Air flight. So I spent about 200 or 250 Canadian dollars. And that flight was delayed as well, and it was the shakiest flight I have ever been on in my life. It was actually pretty spooky, I gotta say. It was like people were freaking out, couples were holding hands. It was just, it was really weird. So I mean, I guess I'm used to turbulence now. And then I landed in Taiwan, and I took the bus back to Taiwan. And as I got off the bus, I put my backpack down. I felt like a new man, and I blew my nose. So that's it, guys. If you've made it this far, thanks a ton for watching. I always think to myself, whenever I see my videos are more than like 5 minutes, I think, who's really gonna make it this far? I mean, look at the attention span of people these days, you gotta be honest. I mean, I'm victim of it. I'm victim of it a little as well, but anyway, I could ramble on about that, but thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate that you wanted to listen to my story. Drop a like, drop a comment if you want. You can tell me how much of an idiot I was. And subscribe, I guess. Support me on Patreon if you want. All that sort of stuff, guys. I love you for watching, alright? Catch ya on the flip side. Peace.